official position is not to speculate on this subject. We can choose to let our minds explore other possibilities, to use our imaginations. For if we consider that astroscientists agree on one point, that the possibility of life elsewhere is not only quite probable, some feel it is there without a doubt. Let us suppose then that these objects are real space vehicles, extraterrestrial in origin, and not an illusion of the mind.
There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.
Hello and welcome to Somewhere in the Live Stream. I'm your host, Ryan Sprague, the host of the Somewhere in the Skies podcast. If you're not a listener, head on over to Apple or Spotify. Check us out. Subscribe, Somewhere in the Skies podcast. But this is a live stream that we do almost every Sunday, where we break down all the latest UFO and space-related news with you guys, our fantastic regulars and new people. And we get your questions and your comments throughout the night. You guys have a great party in the live chat as well, as Suzanne, our wonderful moderator, and I break all these stories down with you guys. And we got a lot. We got a lot to cover tonight. I want to apologize in advance if I'm already losing my voice. I literally moments ago just got home from 2 hours of karaoke. Yes, that's right. Your boy was singing all afternoon here in Scotland. I'm celebrating my 11th anniversary with my incredible partner Jane, and yeah, we had a nice dinner and we went out and we just sang our little hearts out. I do. God, I was really hoping it wasn't gonna load, but it did. So I told Suzanne we prepare these live streams for you guys very heavily all week. We prepare for this thing, and we chat back and forth getting ready for the show. And I told her I might be a couple minutes late. I'm out at karaoke. And she was like, there better be video evidence. And there is. So for just a few moments here, I'm going to play a clip of me singing Steve Miller's The Joker. This goes out to you, Doug Sprague, if you happen to be watching. Steve Miller Band is my dad's all-time favorite band. So yeah, here you go. I can't believe I'm doing this. We're going to lose so many viewers right at the top, but remember, it's not about the performance. It's about how much fun you have. Here we go.
This one's for you, Doug Sprague. Some people call me the space cowboy, yeah. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice, woo, cause I speak of the pompous of love. What is pompous? Does anyone know that? People talk about me, baby, yeah. Say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong. Well, don't you worry, baby, now don't worry. Cause I'm right here, right here, right here where I belong. Cause I'm a thinker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner. I play my music in the sun. Cause I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight smoker. I keep my loving on the run.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god, I can't believe I did the things I do. The things I do. Thank you, Suzanne, for the pity clap. I appreciate it. Um Thanks for entertaining me, guys. I hope you got something. Why did I subscribe? I'm out. T Hammer, don't go. I promise no more singing tonight. I promise. Strictly UFO and space related news from here on out. I promise you. But thank you guys. Thank you for the happy anniversaries and all that. Truly appreciate it. Uh, I'm gonna have to go back and I should have had alcohol. Yeah, Trudy. Agreed. Agreed. Wow, you guys, was I really that bad? Man. E for effort. Oh. Oh. Okay, okay. We're done. We're done. We're done talking about that. Let's get to everything else. Some of you, you listened, you heeded my commands last week, and you put the secret code words into your Apple and Spotify comments and ratings and reviews. And I have some of them here, and I'm going to shout you guys out right now. So let's get to these before we start. We have a brand new Apple Podcast review, and if I remember correctly, what were your code words? Oh, Green Monster was the code words from last week. We have a brand new review on Apple Podcast from Jason Sees UFOs. I've never been to Fenway to see the Green Monster, but I know every new episode of Somewhere in the Skies, I'll be listening. I've been fascinated with the subject my whole life, especially after 2 experiences myself. The updates and coverage Ryan provides is phenomenal. Also, listening to him while I work is just a fun and relaxing experience. Keep looking up. Thank you so much, Jason. Truly do appreciate that. And I'd love if you reached out to me about your UFO experiences. Maybe if you're interested in sharing them on our witness accounts. That'd be amazing. So thank you for that review. Amanda, one of our regulars, had a nice comment on YouTube. Wonderful episode. I was so wishing I could have gone to the Soul Foundation conference. Sadly, I've never been to any UFO related conference yet, but I really appreciated the reporting from Suzanne. Great details that made me feel like I was there, but left me wanting more. I will definitely be checking out the free talks. Fantastic episode all around. Maybe next year I won't let the Green Monster keep me from attending. Love it. Love it. And one of our other regulars on YouTube, Pat Gallagher, said, great episode. Great to hear all about Soul. Thank you, Suzanne. You rock. Don't be distracted by the Green Monster. Amazing, Pat. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Adfimono. I said it wrong. I massacred this name last week. Adfimano. Let's go with that. Said this on Spotify. Green Monster is what I call my girlfriend when I accidentally wake her up at 4 a.m. getting ready for work. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Amazing. Guys, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a fun thing we're doing every week now. We give you some code words. You go over to Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, rate and review the podcast, and be sure to put the code word somewhere in your comment or your rating and review, and we will be sure to shout you out on the next live stream. So I have your code words for this week, and they are. There we go. Suzanne's got them for you up there. Yeah, here we go. Trust me, Brokatsky. This will make a lot more sense in a little bit later in the show. But if you head on over to Apple Podcasts right now, rate and review the podcast. And in your review, written review, put somewhere, somehow, the words trust me, Brokatsky. If you're listening on Spotify under this episode in the very near future, put in the comments section, trust me, Brokatsky, some way, somehow, and throw them in the comments below on this video. Once again, your code words are trust me, Brokatsky. That'll make a lot more sense a little bit later. Last but not least, guys, tonight we are doing a goal of 10 super chats or super stickers. And I planned on doing a special X-Files episode for you guys. I was unable to get that done this week. I do apologize, but I promise you it is coming. It's done. I just have not edited it and produced the whole thing yet, but it's done. I already made it, but it's coming your way very soon. But tonight, if we reach a goal of 10 super chats or super stickers, you're going to decide what my next top 5 or top 10 video is. Now, in the where we usually put our poll on YouTube, we have a Q&A. So what I want you to do is just the question is, what should we do for our next poll? Or excuse me, our next list video, not poll, our next list video, a top 5, a top 10. I want to know from you guys, top 10, whatever, weirdest UFO cases, top 5, close encounters, top 10 biggest UFO hoaxes, top 5 favorite ufologists. I don't care. It can literally be anything. Put it in the comments under the video or put it in the live chat as well. And we will try to star those, keep them all at the end, and then we'll make a decision at some point. Maybe tonight, maybe very soon. But yeah, throw them in the live chat as well. What would you like for our top 5 or top 10 video? We will make that video if we reach 10 super chats or super stickers tonight. That does count PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. Links for those are in the show notes. QR codes are on the screen. You can scan those, and I'll check those throughout the night as well. If we reach a 10 of any kind of donations, we will get that video done for you guys. So thank you. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we truly do appreciate any support you are willing to give us tonight with super chats or super stickers. You really do make the show continue and grow. Do you have any plans to meet Patrick from Vetted? Richard asks. I talked to Patrick yesterday. Unfortunately, he was literally here fly by night. He was here for one night filming. He's doing a documentary on psionics, and he was in Edinburgh just for one night, and the whole time he was busy. Otherwise, we totally would have met up. He lives over yonder now. He has moved over to Europe, so I have no doubt that you will see a Vetted and Somewhere in the Skies crossover in the very near future. So yeah. Thanks for asking, Richard. Truly do appreciate that. Hello to all our regulars. I see you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you're over on Twitter, come on over to YouTube. Join us on YouTube. We got a very lively chat going. You can be a part of that as well. Thank you, Suzanne, for the super sticker. Truly do appreciate that. But what do you say? Should we get to it? We got a lot to cover tonight. A lot of fun videos for you guys. Some surprises towards the end of the show as well. So stick around for that. You're gonna really, really dig that. We're gonna start with some space news tonight. You guys want to talk space? Too bad. We are. I know you want to get right to the UFOs, but this kind of has to do with UFOs. The headline reads, Chinese astronauts have been left stranded in orbit after the return capsule was struck by an unknown object. Oh, man. Remember when the International Space Station astronauts were stranded? What's going on with that? Are they still up there? Anyone know? I have not followed up on that. They're down? They're back? Oh, awesome. Thank you, Suzanne. God, I love this. She's pantomiming everything and it works beautifully. I love it. I love it. Hey, I saw that. I saw that. Um, but this is pretty crazy, guys. Now we have Chinese astronauts stranded up there. 3 Chinese astronauts, Shen Dong, Shen Zhongri, and Wang Jai, who have been aboard China's Chang space station since April, are now delayed in their return to Earth when their capsule was struck by an unknown object. We have a video, a short video from the Sun that I'm going to play about this that breaks the story down for you guys, and we might get a little bit closer to what that unknown object is. So let me grab that video here. And here we go.
Chinese astronauts have been left stranded in orbit after their return capsule was struck by what officials believe was space debris. The trio have been aboard the Tiangong space station, dubbed China's Heavenly Palace, since April. They were scheduled to return to Earth on November 5th, but their journey home has been postponed after damage was found on their capsule's hull. Officials at China's Manned Spaceflight Agency believe it was caused by a small piece of space debris. The astronauts' replacements, who launched aboard Shenzhou 21 last Friday, had already arrived at Tiangong before the collision was detected. Both crews are now working together to inspect the spacecraft and assess whether repairs can make it safe for re-entry. Officials have not disclosed how long the delay will last or whether the Shenzhou 21 spacecraft could be used as a backup return vehicle. The suspect impact highlights the growing problem of space debris in low Earth orbit. This floating garbage includes fragments from old satellites, rocket parts, and even tools lost during spacewalks.
Oh boy, there you go, guys. Space debris, womp womp. But hey, it was an unknown object at first, right? I had to, oh God, I had to hook you guys in. I had to hook you in, get kind of UFO-y on you. Apologies in advance for my voice tonight. Again, 2 hours of that BS you just heard at the top of the show. But yeah, this incident underscores the growing hazard of orbital debris, fragments of defunct satellites, and rocket parts buzzing through low Earth orbit at tens of thousands of miles per hour. The CMSA is also weighing contingency options, including the possibility that the incoming cruise capsule could serve as the return vehicle if repairs prove unfeasible. As of now, there is no estimation on a return date for the 3 astronauts. So, man, that's got to be a little stressful. So, we're sending our thoughts and prayers to them up there. I know there was a video, I think, that came out today of them doing a barbecue up there in space. So, at least they're like not making light of it, but like, not letting it get to them. Anything to keep spirits high as they wait to figure this out. It's got to be terrifying. Terrifying when you don't know how much oxygen you have left and all that stuff. So, again, rooting for them, hoping they can get back soon. So, yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right. Let's keep it in the sort of space realm. And we have our next story, which comes to us from the one, the only Chrissy Newton over at the Debrief. She is killing it over there, guys. I got a chance to watch some of her Rebelliously Curious episodes as well. So if you get a chance, head on over to, well, you're already on YouTube. Many of you are. And subscribe to Rebelliously Curious with Chrissy Newton. She's got some awesome shows over there. But she wrote this story for the Debrief recently. The headline reads, SETI Institute integrates AI to boost real-time search for extraterrestrial signals. The SETI Institute, the group that's been listening for signs of intelligent life for decades, is supercharging its efforts by using the NVIDIA IGX Thor platform at the Allen Telescope Array in California. This upgrade means real-time data analysis of the sky, faster, sharper, more sensitive, and that's big because when you're hunting for weird radio signals that might come from ET, every millisecond really counts. ATA's 42 antennas scan the cosmos looking for electromagnetic signals that don't match any known natural or human-made sources. By slashing the time it takes to filter through mountains of data, we are talking tens of thousands of terabytes per second, guys. The new AI setup boosts the chances of catching something fleeting, faint, or unexpected, basically improving our odds of, did we just hear aliens? What's thrilling is that the algorithms aren't just tuned for one kind of signal. They're designed to flag anything unusual, even stuff we haven't thought to look for. With real-time processing happening at this telescope edge, we're inching closer to being able to pick up a possible hello from another world right as it happens. So we're not talking millennia from now, 100 years from now, 3 months from now. We're talking literally, I'm talking right now, you guys are listening. That's how instant it could be, our communication with aliens using these AI data points. So, look, a lot of bad shit that goes with AI, trust me. But stuff like this, if it can increase our chances of finally making contact, incredible, incredible. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. It's exciting nonetheless. Want to give a shout out again to Suzanne. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Garrett, only $5. Hey, Garrett. Come on. Come on. Who's counting? I am. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. William, Ryan, you're the man. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, William. You're the best. And Susan, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are the best. That's 4 already. We're on our way to 10, guys. Thank you. Okay. Shall we get to our next space-related story? Ha ha! There he is. The man, the myth, the interstellar guru himself, the one and only Avi Loeb. I couldn't think of anything to say there, if you couldn't tell. I wasn't being dramatic. This is interesting. Harvard's Avi Loeb on 3i Atlas, the interstellar object shows mysterious non-gravitational acceleration and no tail. It just gets weirder and weirder. The interstellar object 3i Atlas recently captured the attention of scientists worldwide after showing non-gravitational acceleration as it passed near the sun. Behavior suggesting it may not be behaving like a typical comet or asteroid. And it also doesn't seem to have a cometary tail. In an interview with NBC News with Gadi Schwartz, Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb discussed the implications of these findings, connecting them to his ongoing work with the Galileo project. So let's go ahead and watch that clip with Gadi Schwartz. This is pretty interesting. And we'll hear more about the tail, the acceleration, and things just keep getting weirder. Mystery deepens with 3i Atlas. Give this a watch.
So the last time we spoke, which was like the day before yesterday, you were saying that when it went behind the sun, the natural explanation for the non-gravitational acceleration and the thrust might be because it burned off a bunch of chemicals or something, and that was giving it the thrust to the tune of like 13%, and we would see a humongous tail maybe. What is going on?
Yeah, that's very surprising because there should have been a very massive cloud of gas and dust around it based on what we know about comets. In fact, we see other comets in the solar system that have a beautiful tail away from the sun. Behind them, Lemon is an excellent example. But in our case of 3i Atlas, it looks like a fuzzy ball of light. Even after it passed through perihelion, it was heated by 770 watts per square meter. And we know that the previous plume of gas was mostly carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide ices can sublimate at a much lower temperature than water ice. So we should have seen it break up, or at the very least disintegrate to a very dense and massive cloud of gas and dust that is pushed away from the sun by the solar radiation and the solar wind. But we don't see that. So the question is, what's going on? One possibility is that what evaporates from it are fragments of ice, and they get vaporized by sunlight before they have a chance to turn around and show up as a plume of glow behind it, away from the sun. That's one possible interpretation, but otherwise I just don't know what to make of it. There was also a blue color that was noticed just a few days ago, and also in addition to that, it became brighter by a factor of 5. So what I'm saying is, you know, there are things we don't fully understand about this object. That's what makes it exciting. And I think all of us will wait for the data that will come in the coming weeks. And especially on December 19th, when it comes closest to Earth. That's 6 days before Christmas. And let's hope we don't get unwanted gifts for our holidays.
Or at least maybe those gifts will be nice and friendly and wonderful and help us figure the universe out. We'll see. Avi, you do not seem surprised here. I know that we've been asking you about this, and we were all expecting to see a tail, and we asked you for a natural, plausible explanation. You gave us that one, and now we're seeing no tail. Like, what do you think it is?
I don't know. I think... you know, it's like a blind date with an interstellar object that came from an environment that is alien to us. And I think the key question is whether it's natural or technological. The secondary question, if it's natural, what kind of an environment did it come from? It must be a common environment that produces large packages delivered to our mailbox. And we just need to find out the sender. Either way, it's thrilling, and it's really the reason why science is worthwhile doing, because we can gain new knowledge, and that goes against the tendency of experts to pretend to be the adults in the room that know the answer in advance. Well, guess what? This object is telling the experts, think twice.
I love that. Think twice. Also, a blind date with an interstellar object. Amazing. Interesting stuff. The tail seems to be missing, the acceleration, the maneuvers, all crazy. It's going to be coming back, guys. It's going to be coming back our way. So hopefully we'll get the clearest images yet. Now, the big thing right now, the contention is that NASA actually has very clear images of this thing, but they're not releasing them to the public right now. And that is because there's a government shutdown in the United States again. And, you know, that includes NASA. So while they are not working, they are not, you know, able to release these images, which sounds a little ridiculous, but, you know, these things have to go through channels, bureaucracy, all that stuff before they can be released to the public. So if no one's there to work and to do those things, then, you know, we're not going to see those images. It sucks. A little bit more here. Despite ongoing disruptions from the U.S. government shutdown, NASA officials are set to brief a congressperson on this. Yep, you guessed it. The one, the only, Anna Paulina Luna. They're going to brief her this upcoming Wednesday regarding 3i Atlas, following her formal request for the release of new imagery and data. Luna's team confirmed this meeting. A government source told Defense Scoop that NASA continues to monitor the object and plans to share its findings publicly once the shutdown ends. The discussion marks the first official engagement between NASA and Congress about 3i Atlas, reflecting growing political and scientific interest in understanding the rare visitor's origins and implications. And also, the meeting follows mounting public pressure and speculation surrounding 3i Atlas. NASA's engagement with Luna signals a broader recognition of the need for interagency cooperation. So basically, either way, speculation continues to grow, and it seems to only be getting worse. The fact that these images aren't being released, people are now getting more and more conspiratorial with their thinking. Like, why isn't NASA releasing these? What is it they don't want us to see and stuff like that? And honestly, the only scientist we're really hearing from right now about any of this is Avi Loeb. And the fact that he brought forward these very sort of uh, broad, bold claims that it could be a alien ship or a mothership or whatever, that's all people are talking about. And to Avi's credit, I will give him this. He said it is a very, very astronomically minute chance that it's a alien mothership. But of course, that is what everyone is running with. But he has made it very clear in later interviews and whatnot that he does, you know, believe that this is most likely a comet, but is highly anomalous and it's not acting like any comet we've ever seen, for very good reason. And those reasons I actually want to share with you guys now. Another scientist who was recently interviewed about this was Michio Kaku. Finally, you know, a voice of reason in all of this. And he was on News Nation, and he is trying to kind of calm the conspiratorial nerves when it comes to Three Eye Atlas and you know, tell us what it really is, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and play that Michio Kaku video. Again, I do apologize if these videos are blurry, guys. We're having major issues with StreamYard. Yes, StreamYard, I'm calling you out. You are doing horrible, and I'm paying way too much for this software for your videos to come through blurry. So I've been on the phone with them. They have not resolved anything. It's a nightmare. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, but hopefully this video will be a little bit clearer for you guys. Here's Michio Kaku talking about Three Eye Atlas.
With the new images of Three Eye Atlas, not from our own NASA. We are still waiting on those. These ones are out of Spain. Some are noting it looks like this object has lost its tail after passing the sun. What's your take here? And if there's no tail, does that mean this is indeed not a comet?
Well, I have my own point of view on this, and that is that this is a very old object, perhaps 7 billion years old. And in 7 billion years, there's been plenty of time to accumulate garbage. That's why, for example, the nickel content of the comet is off scale. Its chemical composition is not what an ordinary comet should be. And that, I think, is because over 7 billion years, it's had plenty of time to accumulate different gases, different elements, different kinds of environments that it goes into. And I think that explains a lot of the mystery behind the comet. And everyone's talking about it. I was on the airplane the other day and overheard some people talking over my shoulder. And sure enough, they were talking about the comet too.
Did you pop your head over the seat and say, hi, I'm Dr. Michio Kaku, one of the foremost experts on this, and this is my opinion?
No, I did not say that, but I would gladly have given them my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a 7 billion year old comet, and that's why it's different. It's different from other comets. Comets in our solar system, for example, are maybe only 3 to 4 billion years old. This one is a very old comet, and as a consequence, it has plenty of time to accumulate garbage, and that's one of the characteristics of this comet. It has nickel, iron content, which is different from the average comet.
You know, we're still waiting on an updated image of this object from NASA. We see Representative Anna Paulina Luna sharing this week that it will not be shared until the government is reopened. Do you make anything of this? Is NASA hiding something here?
Sounds like it, right? I mean, what have they got to lose? I mean, it's only a sheet of paper. I mean, it's not like a top secret thing you put in a safe. It's just a sheet of paper. So what have they got to lose by announcing that they have this information? Because it fosters more and more speculation. And at a certain point, it becomes counterproductive.
You've been closely monitoring Three Eye Atlas for months now. I'm tracking these anomalies, some bizarre behavior. What are the odds that we're dealing with something not just old, but something that's extraterrestrial in nature?
I think it's non-zero, but it's very small. So far, it looks like an ordinary comet. It behaves like an ordinary comet. And except for these a few anomalies, it does act like an ordinary comet. And so I think it's really pointless to preserve secrets to keep things away from the American public. The public want to know.
Avi Loeb, meanwhile, out of Harvard, believes that 3I Atlas may be revving its engine. Any thoughts on that?
Well, there's a possibility. You have to put probabilities with regards to all the speculation. Avi Loeb was very careful later on to say that the probability of his speculations are quite low. And so we have to put this into perspective that these are guesses, and as a consequence, they're not 100%.
There you go. It's so good to hear another scientist like talk about Avi Loeb's theories. So, I mean, he tends to agree. We don't know. And the lack of transparency per se by NASA is going to only make that worse. So, yeah. But Michio's pretty damn sure it's a comet. It seems like Avi Loeb is slowly putting that white flag up and saying, yeah, it's probably comet. But again, like it's going to be zipping back our way. Hopefully, we'll get some more clear images. And hopefully, once the government shutdown is over, NASA will release those images to the public as well. But we got some pretty darn good ones from Spain, like they said as well. So that's cool. We'll see. We'll see. The mystery of 3I Atlas is not over, guys. So we will continue to follow this story and follow this object as it makes its way out of our galaxy in the very near future. December 19th, keep that date in mind. December 19th, 3I Atlas will be closest to Earth, and hopefully we'll get our clearest images yet. It will be an interesting Christmas, to say the least. What a gift. What a gift. Gary, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Truly do appreciate that. We are killing it, guys. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And I see you're getting your top 5, top 10 requests for what our next video should be into. Keep putting those in the chat. We will star them, put them in capital letters for Suzanne, and put top 5 or top 10 next to it. And we will star those and keep them at the end as well. I've never done Q&A on YouTube, so I don't know how that works. I'm wondering if I end the Q&A, if like the questions or answers will show up. We'll see. We'll see. But either way, 3I Atlas. Crazy stuff. Okay. Let's take a quick break, and then we are heading into UFO territory. That is for sure, guys. We're going to be talking all about the pretty explosive interview that James Lacatski just gave on Weaponized with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, where he said some pretty interesting stuff. Did we get clarity on any of the stuff from his books? You'll see in these clips that we have prepared for you. We also have some really big news in the world of the Varginha UFO crash in terms of James Fox's documentary on Varginha. It will be re-released in December with a lot more new information and new witnesses coming forward. And I'm just going to read you the headline of this one. Doctor comes forward to say that he touched a live alien. That's all you need to know. We will talk all about it after the break with Suzanne. We're going to play some clips for you guys. We got some surprises at the end of the show as well. But let's take a very quick commercial break, and we will be back with Summer in the live stream and really get all UFO on yo asses. All right? I will see you in just a few. Stick around. Hey guys, Ryan Sprague here from Somewhere in the Skies. The podcast has always been and always will be completely free for you to listen to. But creating it every week takes a lot of time, research, and resources. And to be honest, it's just never been free for me to create. That's why we built a few simple ways for you to help support the show and keep it going strong. You can join us over on Patreon or through Apple Premium. Both offer the same awesome perks. Ad-free episodes, early access to new content, exclusive bonus shows, and even priority to ask our guests your listener questions. It's a quick and easy way to support what we do for just a few bucks a month. And right now, you can even try Patreon for free for a week to see if it's right for you. To learn more, and to join, head over to patreon.com/somewhereskies. That's patreon.com/somewhereskies. Or hit that subscribe button right at the top of your Apple Podcast feed. Thank you so much for listening, for supporting, and as always, keep looking up. All right, welcome back to Somewhere in the Live Stream. Thanks for checking out that commercial, guys. Yes, if you would like to further help support our work and get rewards in return, patreon.com/somewhereskies, or click that subscribe button at the top of your Apple feed for all the same rewards. Thank you in advance for that. And thank you to Michelle. Hear me out, band name 3i Atlas. Love it. Great band name. I will not be the lead singer, Michelle, of that band, or else they ain't gonna last even one gig. I can tell you that much. Not happening. Not happening. Oh, you double donated. Thank you. That's so sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Amazing. Thank you guys. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read a little bit about this story, and then we're going to play the first clip, and then I will bring Suzanne in to react to the first one. This stuff gets crazy, guys. So James Lacatski, you guys know that name. We talked about him on the live stream just a couple weeks ago. He worked for the department. Wow, the Defense Intelligence Agency. There we go. There we go. And he was basically the head of AAWSAP, the secret Pentagon UFO program, the real secret Pentagon UFO program, not ATIP, AAWSAP. He does talk about this in this interview. I don't know if it's in one of our clips, but he basically he called out the authors of the New York Times article, Leslie Kean, Ralph Blumenthal, Helene Cooper, and said they were very wrong. Their reporting was very, very inaccurate, which sucks. I hate hearing that. Leslie is a personal friend of mine. Ralph has been on the podcast. Yes, I've got a cough drop because I'm going to need it in a little bit. It sucks to hear that the reporting was so inaccurate. Not so much maybe by the fault of the authors. I mean, at the end of the day, they have to take the responsibility for it. But it was very inaccurate. The actual program funded by Harry Reid for $22 million was not ATIP. It was AAWSAP, and it was run by James Lacatski. He's written several books now about the findings through AAWSAP, because all of that data, all of that information a lot of it's been classified, and we were never privy to the information that came out of the AAWSAP program, the actual Pentagon program, funded, I should say. So these books that James Lacatski is coming out with, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon. I don't remember the name of the last one, but the new one's called New Insights. Like, these are all the findings from AAWSAP that he's putting out in book form, and getting it cleared by DOPSR, which is a big part of this whole thing too, as we'll get to. But let me read a little bit here. U.S. government's largest ever investigation, AAWSAP, about UAP was conducted by Defense Intelligence Agency scientist Dr. James Lacatski. The program was funded for $22 million through the efforts of Harry Reid, aimed to study UAP phenomena and determine whether these technologies could be replicated. Lacatski, inspired by reports from Utah's Skinwalker Ranch, established a team of 50 full-time investigators under Bigelow Aerospace to collect data and analyze anomalous craft, physiological effects, and even paranormal activity linked to UFO encounters. Over its 27-month existence, AAWSAP produced 115 reports and amassed the world's largest UFO data archive, though much of it remains classified. Lacatski reveals that America's secret race to understand and potentially reproduce UFO propulsion systems is very real and is ongoing. In an interview with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell on Weaponized, he made some pretty big claims. The first claim, which we're going to look at, was that Kona Blue a proposed prospective special access program under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Office of Science and Technology, intended to investigate and exploit non-human biologics and advanced aerospace technology anomalies. The proposal was never approved or funded and was formally terminated in February of 2012, according to the Defense Department. But Lacatski made this claim in the interview with Jeremy and with George Knapp. So let's go ahead and watch this first clip here of Lacatski talking about Kona Blue. Stick with me here. Let me find this for you guys. All right. It's here. It's here. I think it's here. Here we go. No, that's not it. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Found it. Kona Blue, you sneaky son of a... There it is.
Did you say we cannot talk about Kona Blue in past tense? I need you to elaborate on that.
Kona Blue is much more than... Kona Blue, I can answer that directly, but I can't go into details. Kona Blue was a compartment. It was also a program. You can, if people knew what they were reading that was released, knew what is between the lines on what DHS, Department of Homeland Security, released, which, by the way, was a very good write-up. There's a key sentence in there. Let people find it. A very good write-up. But the thing is what's to do with a compartment? Now, am I agreeing with what has been said in DHS's and what has been said by Arrow about Kona Blue? All I can say is,
Okay, so I'm going to read between the lines and assume that there is some active element or component to what we are calling Kona Blue. Let it be an operation, a compartment, whatever. You can't talk about it.
Not a compartment. That's secure.
Okay, so it's not.
A program continues. It can be unfunded. It can be funded. It can be temporarily funded. Money can go in and out.
So a UFO study program could continue under that.
And remember what we asked in the rear. It was with a lot of thought. Column wrote it in the rear portions of Skinwalkers at the Pentagon. He suggested private money going in from multiple sources. And I can tell you now that caught people's eye.
Okay. So, I mean, George, that's new to me. Isn't that great?
It is.
Oh,
Dr. Lacatski, the picture that's been painted to the public by assorted people and debunkers and counterintelligence operatives is that Kona Blue was a crackpot idea. It went to Department of Homeland Security. There were some discussions, but they eventually decided there's no value in this. That's what we've been told. There's no value. It's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. And it is completely contrary to the process that you described in the earlier books.
Absolutely.
That Dr. Tara O'Toole and others recognized the value of it. They wanted it to go forward. Somewhere up above intervened, and the public is told it was killed right there.
Yes, and that the program was not killed. You can't kill Kona Blue.
I love that. You can't kill Kona Blue. That's perfect way to end that clip. A lot of you are critiquing how boring this interview was. I get it. Lacatski has a serious problem with talking in circles, talking in ambiguity, and just like, look, Defense Intelligence Agency, the guy worked with intelligence. Like, he knows how to either put you to sleep so you don't actually listen, or he knows how to, quote, make you read between the lines. So, the thing I took out of this clip is that Kona Blue continues. in some form, some way, somehow. And that is what everyone is coming forward and telling us. Borland, Grush, all these guys, you know, Knapp himself. So all these people are obviously privy to things we are not yet. Apparently, we're going to learn all about it through these books by Lacatski. And a lot of people do critique him, like, "Oh, really? He's selling the books, and we got to pay to play, basically pay to get the information." He made it very clear that on like a copy of the book, let's say you buy the book, it's $20, whatever. After all is said and done, he makes like 75 cents to $1 on each copy. I get that. I am the author of 2 books, 2 Amazon best-selling books. And look, the cut authors get is pretty bad. You know, my incredible publishers, Beyond the Fray Publishing, they at least have a good split between authors and publisher. A lot of publishing companies don't. It's even worse than you can imagine. So I feel very fortunate to be with the publishers I'm with. So yeah, the dude's not making money off of these books, guys. I can tell you that much. What he's doing is interesting. He's taking the information from AAWSAP and these programs and everything, and he's putting it in book form so that it can go through DOPSR and get cleared. So he's taking this like safe way of getting the information out and making sure that he's not breaking any classified oaths and stuff like that. So I understand the process in which he's doing it. Do I wish he would just come out and testify before Congress? Yes, of course. I think he even talks about that in one of these clips. And why that hasn't happened and why he has chosen not to. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting first clip. You could tell Corbell gets a little aggravated with him in all of these clips. Like, get to the point, dude. Like, come on. But it's interesting. Kona Blue is something I want to keep an eye on. I want to learn more. What has been the continuation of AAWSAP? Apparently, it was ATIP. ATIP's gone. Now what? You know? So interesting stuff. I want to hear what Suzanne thinks. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her in and unmute her and get her in here. How do I? Oh, there we go. There she is. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I am good. We talked off air. I was late to the show because I was at karaoke and everyone had to suffer through that with me. But,
I loved it.
Oh
That's
my
what it's all
gosh.
about, though. If you were a professional singer, you'd be on a stage somewhere, right?
Yeah, that ain't happening. That's why I'm doing a UFO live stream, asking for super chats, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, look at
I'm
Jay
good.
Allen. You're so funny, mister.
Suzanne
Hilarious.
deserves her. Oh,
Yeah.
he's right. You know what? He's right. I'll get on that. Jay Allen. Thanks for being here, buddy. Always appreciate it.
They can learn that and then know when to run, right?
Yeah.
Here she comes. Look out.
No. Do you sing?
Oh, I do, but I also
carry
play
a
the
tune?
flute. I'm much more proficient at the flute. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We are learning something tonight. You're a professional flautist, I
Well,
should say.
I don't
Aspiring.
know how professional. I started
Okay.
in the 4th grade and I'm still playing today.
Wow. I played the bass drum in
Oh,
high
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
I joined because I had a crush on a girl in the band. So I joined the band and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to read music, never learned. And it got to the point where the band instructor was like, Ryan, just hit the damn thing when it feels right. And that's what I did.
Got through it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So
Well,
that's
you
my
did it.
extent. Yep.
You did it.
Okay. So we're gonna break down this Lacatski interview because a lot was said and a lot of nothing seems to have been said. So that first clip that I played about Kona Blue, did you take anything from that?
I took that as an act of bravery and defiance is how I took that. There's so much he can't say, but he was quite comfortable telling the planet Kona Blue ain't dead. And I think we take him at his word. He is very keen to set a boundary on what he'll talk about. Later in the video, you all may have watched it, but Mr. Corbell tries to get him to talk about going inside the craft that
we
we
have
talked
that.
about last year from Seoul and earlier this year in another episode of this.
I will play that clip. Yep.
Okay, good. Because I think that's really important, and he just stops him. So he knows where his lines are. So when he steps over what looks like a line, I think we pay attention.
Yes, that's a very, very good point. I think he actually says more in his pauses, in his silence.
Exactly.
You could tell, like
Yeah.
he has to really think, or
Yeah.
he's kind of like kind of eyeing us in
Right.
the audience, like, this is where I really want you to read between the lines.
Answering
pay
around.
attention.
Yeah, answering around instead of dead on. It made me think also, I'm sure you watched the clip of Eric Davis. I don't even remember who released it earlier this week, but he's basically saying, I needed an executive order from President Trump so that I can tell you what I know.
We'll be playing that one later too. That was with James Fox.
I want Lacatski to have an executive order.
Yes.
And I do think in watching him, just from a legal perspective, I don't think he's going to be a hostile witness. I think he's ready to tell what he knows. I think Eric Davis is too. So maybe we'll get it. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we will. Well, Lacatski did not have very choice words in this interview when it came to Arrow.
No, he did not. And this is a big takeaway for me.
Yeah. So basically, he's calling out Arrow for being a counterintelligence program. That is a very bold claim to make.
It is, but boy, I was glad to hear it. I bet you were too, because a few episodes ago, you and I were talking with our live stream audience about exactly this, that we were in the middle. It was after the Wall Street Journal article. That's when it was.
Yep.
And I said point blank, and I think you did as well, we are in the middle of what appears to be an active and powerful disinformation campaign. And here's Lacatski telling us we are, and that Arrow is the agent of that disinformation.
Yeah, it's weird. Now, I don't remember what I cut of this clip. Primarily, it might not be Lacatski so much talking about but the things that Corbell actually says in relation to the most recent congressional UFO hearing and Arrow's weird connection to it.
Yes.
That's what I found most interesting. So why don't I play that clip?
Perfect.
And yeah, we'll elaborate a little bit more on that. So let me pull that up right here. Okay, here we go.
First and foremost, Arrow was aware of the security review status of your books. So somehow they're
apparently and directly stated it. They were the first two were not sent there. I was asked for them and they bought copies. Now, why is DOPSR communicating that to them? That's a big question. I don't know the answer. Are they just interested in getting it quickly?
Well, I don't know. It feels kind of meddling. And so I want to put on top of that something I noticed, which is in the last hearing, when George and I were nominating people and going through reviews with them and security reviews with them and introducing them to people and going through all these meetings, one thing I said, and they promised me, is that Arrow would not be involved in any way. No communication to Arrow. This is just free going to Congress. People could know that their information would not be shared with Arrow. That turned out not to be true. There was a leak in Congress where they were directly sharing information of people that George and I were nominating. And in some cases, people were contacted, for kind of pre-reviews with Arrow. So Arrow was meddling, and I actually put in a request for this to be followed down by Congress. So now we're seeing another infiltration of Arrow from a human intelligence perspective. But I might not fully understand that. You said something. You said in Arrow's letter to you, they said, we can even discuss human. And you go, huh? Can you explain what is concerning about that to our audience?
Human is controlled by the organization that gathers the human. They cannot cross the lines in discussing it without a ton of paperwork. I went in and out of human constantly because I couldn't use it in my documents. I mean, I was reading it and it was like, well, what's good's this? I can't share it in my documents. Same here. I can't just go to Congress. Mr. Borland summarized it very well when he was directly asked, "Can you talk to us in a skiff?" And he said, well, if you have the clearances, the proper clearances and your subcategories and whatever that you need that I have, that he has, yeah, I can talk to you. Well, good luck in getting those.
Exactly. It'll
Interesting.
never happen. It'll
Yeah.
never happen.
So the thing that really caught my attention with that is that Arrow was meddling with these
Meddling.
witnesses before a congressional hearing. That's messed up.
It
In
is,
my
isn't
opinion.
it?
Yeah. Like, I say what you want about Corbell and Knapp, like, being the ones to choose these witnesses. I know a lot of people have taken issue with that. There's a bias there, and I understand that concern, like, wholeheartedly. I do. Like, these aren't just like blind witnesses saying they want to come testify. It's like they're being coached
They
in a
are.
way. And what do you think from a legal standpoint and or ethical or moral standpoint of people testifying before Congress to lawmakers, nonetheless, and they're like almost being groomed and recruited to do it? Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think these witnesses that come from backgrounds that don't afford them a legal perspective or a congressional perspective, I think they need a certain level of coaching for their own good, for their own protection. Be nice if the whistleblower protections were in place, but they're not. And so it's going to take a little bit of guidance from lawyers and congressionally experienced people to get these fellows in the right seat with the right words and leaving the wrong words and information behind them, right?
Mhm.
But when Arrow steps in a manipulative way, it's not okay. They're way out of line. And I'm trying to remember, Ryan, you may remember, who was it who said at the first Soul Foundation meeting, was it Arrow had not worked out as hoped? And I thought, this is so far beyond Arrow has not worked out as
Yeah.
hoped. Arrow is actively interfering. But I also think everybody take a breath, because it is quite clear to me from being in the room now twice at Soul and from watching all the videos and things you and I watch to get ready for these Sundays, the world's done with it. Anybody who's interested in this subject is perfectly willing to set the government's actions aside and let private science and podcasters and whatever pull the data together in a much more reliable way. That doesn't mean you don't have to vet that. You certainly have to vet that. And we do every week. Some things end up in the electronic trash bin after we've watched a little bit, even with big name people. We had one of those this week. We wanted to use it so badly, but you just can't always do it.
Yeah.
So I think, Arrow can try to do what it's doing. Arrow can do what it's doing. It's not trying, it's doing. But I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think we've all moved past it, and so have
Exactly.
to me, what it's coming off as, and take for example, I had Joshua Shelton
Yes.
on the podcast. That'll be coming out next week. He was the witness who came forward to Ross Coulthart. Super brilliant guy. We talked
And
for over
bright
2
guy,
hours. Oh my God.
eloquent speaker. Really put
Yeah.
together. You all are going to really enjoy this interview.
Yeah, it's over on Patreon right now, guys.
Right.
I will show a little teaser clip later on for you guys as well to get you ready. But yeah, if you want to hear the whole Joshua Shelton interview, it is now on Patreon, and it'll be up on Apple Premium very soon. But to get back to it, I asked him straight up, like, would you testify before Congress? And he said, yeah, absolutely. He's like, but not right now, because like the protections aren't there. And
Sure.
and he said, I spoke to a bunch of other military people who said the same thing. Like, we just like don't feel like it's safe to do that yet.
Right. And I'm not sure it is. And if we see from our perspective that we are in the middle of a powerful disinformation campaign, imagine what those guys feel and see about it.
Yeah.
So it's one thing for us to sit here every Sunday and through the podcast and whatever, hypothesize around what this is and what it isn't and share information. It's another thing with someone like, I think of Dylan Borland, who can be prosecuted They
Yeah.
could be prosecuted criminally.
Right.
So the burden is big.
It is. And oh my God, I totally like misconstrued my point. It wasn't reporting to Congress per se, but it was reporting to Arrow. That's what it was that Joshua brought
Yeah.
up. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, none of my friends are reporting to Arrow because we've only heard
No.
really bad things. Like they're not even recording the phone calls that they're having
No.
with
No.
us. So they're not taking
Exactly.
any of it seriously at
Well,
all.
and even
At all.
Lacatski mentions in this video something about, I have 7,500 pages of data from Bigelow Airspace, from all the research done there. They know I have it, and no one's ever asked me for it. And in response to somebody's FOIA, I don't know whose, their response was, we can't find that. What? Okay. Well,
Crazy.
here's a little clue. Call Mr. Lacatski.
Yeah, he's a phone call away. Like
Phone
I
call
think
away.
that might be in this next clip. I'm not
Oh,
positive
okay.
about him talking about testifying before Congress. It might not, but this clip I know for a fact is what everyone wants to hear about, and that is the clarification on him stepping inside of a craft
Yes.
that is being reverse engineered. Did he
Yes.
step inside it, and will he testify before Congress about all this? So, should we watch that one?
Let's watch it.
Okay.
This is my
This was
favorite thing of the whole interview.
Yep, same. I was gonna say the same thing. All right. Here we go. Where are you? I gotta get better at this. Okay, here it is.
Admitted and told us it was in the book, but you said it verbally. You know,
Hold on. Let me restart it.
and told us it was in the book, but you said it verbally, you know, that we have a UFO in government possession, that we have an exploitation effort on that vehicle, that we've been successful in at least penetrating the hull. So you've gone on record and you told us that last time. Now, without going outside of those bounds, do you stand behind this? That we have
Statement? Oh, absolutely.
But let's get more specific than the statement. Do you stand behind that we have a UFO in our possession, and that because that would mean we have a reverse engineering program on that UFO if you breach the hull? That would answer what everybody wants to know.
I can't answer that. It goes beyond what I've been approved to say. And by the way, if you're looking at such a craft, what are you primarily interested in? The craft? The fact that it's empty? Or what in the world is the power supply and the motive force? What in the world is that? That kind of answers your question. What would you really be interested in?
Yeah, well, so because you have studied all of these types of propulsion systems and all these energy components, you would be interested in what drives this UFO.
Yes.
I might be interested in, where does it come from if no terrestrial human nation has made it? So I would have a different interest than you would have.
Just discussed why I didn't want to go any further in Kona Blue. It is that difference, and it is important, because unless you have an infinite amount of funding, you've got to choose what you're looking at. As you know, and George knows, a fair amount of money went into the medical aspect of UFOs in AAWSAP, much more so than was described. I mean, much more so. Someone like me might not, it's not that I wouldn't care, but I'd be interested in how in the world they got here. I mean, what we currently understand in advanced physics is it isn't as advanced as we'd like to believe.
So, okay, I mean, just at the core of it, though, this is one of the largest admissions, because you are for controlled disclosure and you're getting things authorized. It is one of the largest admissions in UFO history that you're admitting and announcing through an authorized disclosure that you had to get authorized. It's amazing they authorized it, that we have a UFO in our possession and that we breached the hull and that there was none of these typical things you'd see for common flight. So again, I'm just asking, I know you've already affirmed it, but that is a factual statement under sworn testimony. I mean, you would tell that right to Congress, right?
Yeah, that's what's in the book. They can read it themselves. If they want my hand up, I could do that, but I can't go beyond what is in the text. The next book, I'm not talking about the next one in 6 months. I'm talking about the one that looks at Kona Blue from my perspective. I mean, a big decision point on 4 books of AAWSAP, even though only 1,200 pages, is what's important in there and what isn't.
This is where you get in trouble, though. This is where you, Dr. Lacatski, get in trouble. People say, well, why are you parsing this out in public books rather than testifying to Congress? They're supposed to have oversight of our government. Congress is supposed to have financial and substantial oversight over these things. So if you did testify that we have a reverse engineering program, we have a UFO, and you raise your hand and you say that is factual information, they're going to ask you, where is it being held? How is our money being spent for the taxpayers? Why is it going in your books instead of telling us Congress so we can have oversight?
I mean, I can only release what I'm approved to release, and I too am surprised that they approve that. I put it in there deliberately.
Last time I asked you, from your book, I said, did you enter the craft at any time? And you said, I can't answer that. Well, Eric Davis has commented publicly, and this is what he said. We couldn't understand the propulsion. Lacatski went inside the UAP, and they didn't find any energy source or propulsion system. So now that Dr. Eric Davis has publicly stated that you were inside this UFO, can you now expand on that? Were you in the craft you are describing?
Oh, I can expand on that. And going back to your question just before this, the reason I really have never, first of all, I've never been asked to testify other than indirectly through you.
Right.
And I had a medical reason not to do it last month.
That's right.
But the thing is, I can tell you a lot of what we're talking about, real intelligence gathering from a variety of folks in these 4 books. It's not as exciting as some of the stories that I've seen. Even if they're just stories, they're not as exciting. But the senators and congressmen can have their staff read the book, summarize it, bullet points.
Okay, but you're not going to answer me if you were in the craft or not yourself.
I can't, and I couldn't in front of Congress. I can do no more than what is in the books to them. And they have it locked, and believe me, it's the absolute truth with what is in the books.
I believe you, it's the truth, but why couldn't you tell Congress? I mean, they're not authorized for you to tell them?
When you're brought into things, I was once told for a particular clearance, I was to inform that agency and their legal team if I was ever asked to go to Congress.
Wow.
There you
That's
go.
interesting.
Isn't it?
That's interesting that he's told by one of the programs.
Right.
If someone asks you to testify, come to us first. That's
I have
I
an
don't
idea
know.
for them, though. I have an
Yeah.
idea. He's
Okay.
obviously been cleared on these books, all 4 of them. Although the 4th one that's coming out maybe in 6 months, he must be cleared at some point, but it's not out to us yet. But I'll watch and I'll let everyone know when I see it. But
Yeah.
I don't know why someone has not made those books an exhibit to the continued discussion in front of Congress.
Yeah.
That information is cleared. They can take it and do exactly what Lacatski's talking about, summarize it, ask questions around it. He can answer some. He obviously won't be able to answer all. But I don't know why that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And he is not going to take the bait that Eric Davis talked about him going into this craft and being, no visible means of propulsion or control. But what's the source of Eric Davis's right to testify about that too? I need to dig around on that one.
Yeah, do some digging because it almost seems to me he's really Lacatski really wishes Davis had never said that because it's just getting him in deep waters like this. Look, we are critical sometimes of Corbell and
Right.
kind of how he presents things, but I will say he put Lacatski's feet to the fire here, and he's saying what we have all been saying. Why the F are you not going before Congress? Well, you can read about it in my book. Yeah, we know. You've said that
Yeah.
a million times, but why will you not say what's in the book in front of Congress so that it's on the congressional record and then they can go and investigate? Well, they can read my book. Like, okay, that's fine, dude, but like, come on. Oh, it's so frustrating.
Well, and to
Like, it's
expect that Congress is going to sit down and read 4 UFO books.
That's not
It's
happening.
not going to happen.
No,
It's just not going to happen.
look at what happens when a congressional member's like staff research the UFO topic and then get them questions. You
Right.
get the bullshit we got with Bobart
Yeah.
in the congressional hearing with her
What was that? Yeah.
dumbass conspiracy bullshit. You get some of this stuff that like Matt Gaetz said and Anna Paulina said, and you could tell that it's their staffers that went and like chat GBT'd something and came
Exactly.
up with it. You know what I mean? So
Well,
no, we want you on the congressional floor, Mr. Lacatski.
you with the knowledge and the experience and the firsthand work. And then I think it's really important, these books. And the first one was, of course, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon. The second one is entitled Inside the U.S. Government Covert UFO Program, Initial Revelations. And the third one is called New Insights. He says the fourth one will be called Future Vision, but that's the one I think's not out yet. But here's what he says, I think more than one time in this video, is what's in these books is the truth. These aren't beliefs. These aren't speculations. They're not hypotheticals. This is the truth. And so, you know, it's not an opinion. It just is what it is. So why these books aren't taken more seriously and addressed congressionally, I don't get it.
Yeah. But therein lay the problem, Suzanne, for me. It's the truth. What do we know?
How
And
do
you
you
want to know? It's our code words for this week. Trust me, Brokatsky. Again, guys, go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, put Trust Me, Brokatsky in your ratings and your reviews, and we will shout you out next week. But it's this Trust Me, Bro thing.
Right.
Like, look.
Again.
We'll take what we can get. Like,
Right.
we will take what we can get. And like, if the findings of AAWSAP are going to come through your books, fine. But when you're asked to testify before Congress and you don't do it, like, that doesn't give us a lot of confidence. He said he had a medical issue. Fine. I would never hold that against somebody. But if he is asked again, I hope he does it. And
Right.
I don't see him being a hostile witness. At this
I don't
point.
either. And that was initially a concern of ours. But after
was.
this interview, I could set that aside. I think he'll draw clear boundaries, but I don't think he's going to be hostile.
Yeah, exactly. Monster Hunter Player says whistleblowers are not the problem. Congress does not subpoena a single hostile Grush witness means they do not want disclosure.
Right.
Interesting.
We give
Corbell's-
attention and time and energy to what's important to us.
Yep, exactly. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all I have for the Lacatski interview.
Yeah.
Anything else I missed that you think we should highlight?
I don't
in
think
that one?
so. I did think it was interesting that he called out Leslie Kean and Ralph Blumenthal from the New York Times
Yeah.
article saying they had his number. They basically, he kind of intimated they knew what he knew, and they knew he was there and made no phone call. And
Isn't
I
that
would love for Leslie Kean or Ralph Blumenthal to address that.
Me too. I think they need to set the record straight on all of this. The big reason we've had this debate for almost, I can't believe I'm saying this, like 10 years now,
Right.
about if Luis Elizondo was the head of the secret Pentagon program. The fact that
Yeah.
we're still having that like
Right.
discussion goes to show that we don't have that answer. And to me, it sounds like, the reporting was wrong from the very start. And that just makes everything 10 times worse, you
We
know?
got somebody special in the house.
Checking. Hello, Douglas Sprague. Welcome. Doug, we played a little karaoke song for you at the top. of the live stream, so you have to go back and watch that one. That one is just for you, my friend, and the 548 people watching right now. So, hello, Papa Sprague. I'll be seeing him in a little under a month now. I'll be heading
Yay.
over for the holidays, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah, Christy says hello, hello.
Oh,
my
hello to her
wonderful,
as well.
beautiful sister. Give her a shout out to you guys, Christy Sprague, Christy with a K. We always have to make that clear. Hello to her and all the dogs as well back home in New York. Cool. Should we move on to the next
Let's
big
go.
bombshell?
Yeah,
All
it was a
right.
week for videos. Holy smokes.
It was a week. It was a week. Okay. So, our good friend, James Fox, the filmmaker, he is going to be re-releasing his documentary, Moment of Contact, which covers the 1996 Varginha UFO crash that occurred. Now, do you know anything about this case, Suzanne? Have you seen that documentary?
I do. I've studied this at length. This one and Colares together. In fact, you'll see my suggestion for the next top 10 or top 5 things is like pick Brazil. Just pick the top
Love it.
Brazilians.
Yeah. Yes, and we
Incredible.
will.
I think this is huge too, and it's not getting the track. I think there was so much out there this week. Lacatski and Leslie Kane and Diana Pasulka, all these big video people out, that he has kind of gotten washed out. And I think this is enormous news.
Absolutely. I think you're right. And we will try to cover the Diana Pasulka and Leslie Kane conversation maybe in the future. I'm going to toot my own horn here just for a second. I saw a lot of people say, this is huge. This is the first time Leslie Kane and Diana Pasulka have ever had a conversation together. Wrong. Guess who
Oh.
did that?
Did you?
So back in 2020, I had the incredible opportunity to Leslie invited me actually over to her apartment in New York City.
Nice.
And I had a 4-hour sit down with her. And I did an episode with her and Diana Pasulka in conversation. So if you guys are interested at all, you can find that online. It's called A Cosmic Conversation with Leslie.
I have it
Kane.
right here. Let me throw it in the chat.
There you go. It was incredible. I somehow, some way it came together and I was able to get these two incredible women to have a conversation for the first time ever together. And it was fascinating. And then I did a whole 2 hours more with Leslie and one of her colleagues, a guy named Michael Anthony, about their Surviving Death Netflix series. And
Yes.
Leslie's
I've
book
watched
was-
every piece of that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find that one in the archives as well. But yeah, I just wanted to. I saw a lot of people being like, "Whoa, they've never spoken before." I'm like, "Yeah, I
Yes,
did.
they have.
Yeah, I did an interview back in 2020." Okay, let's get back to our boy James Fox. He's going to be re-releasing the documentary for a very good reason. New revelations, new witnesses have come forward in the Varginha case, and one of them is a doctor. Let me summarize this. In a recent episode of Reality Check with Ross Coulthard, filmmaker James Fox discussed his documentary Moment of Contact and the now legendary 96 Varginha, Brazil incident. The Varginha case, often called Brazil's Roswell, centers on a series of extraordinary events that took place in January of 96 in Varginha when several residents claimed to have seen strange creatures and a crashed UFO. Witnesses described small, brown, and oily skinned being with large red eyes, one of which was reportedly captured by the military. So this clip I'm going to show is James was on Reality Check with Ross, and he talks about first the police officer who was involved with this, who actually like recovered the being. And while recovering it, he ended up getting like scratched or something by the being, and something really, really bad happened. So I think that's what this first clip is. Oh, and then it also goes into the new witness that is going to come forward. This is the important part. The new witness that is coming forward, a neurosurgeon who actually worked on trying to save the life of this crashed alien. So this is a lot to process right now. Full disclosure, James sent me this interview maybe a few months ago, and it was one of these like, I'm just showing you because you're a friend, you're a colleague. This is what's going to be coming out in a couple months, and now it's here, and the documentary will have a full interview with this neurosurgeon. But we're going to get a little taste of that in this interview with Ross and James. Should we give this a watch?
Let's give it a watch.
All right, let's find it. Might be a little on the longer side, but definitely worth it.
Oh, definitely.
Here we go.
There's a police officer, Marco Eli Cheresi,
Yep.
a young police officer. He actually reportedly captures a similar creature.
Just a
being
couple
handed-
blocks away. Couple blocks away. A couple hours later, just a couple blocks away.
Is it the same creature?
One would only assume that it had to be. It was like 2 blocks away. A couple hours later.
What does he do with it?
So it's interesting because Marco Cheresi was a military officer, and Eric Loeb, also another military officer. They're both friends. Marco apparently was off for the night, and they get this he gets an APB that, hey, there's something really unusual out lingering, to go capture whatever this thing is. They didn't say it was an ET or anything. It was something very unusual. So those were the orders given to Eric Loeb. Eric calls up his buddy who is off for the night. He says, hey, you want to join me? I've got this crazy mission of looking, So Marco Cheresi jumps in the car with him, and off they go. And they actually see this creature 2 blocks from where the girls encountered it just a couple hours later, running across the road. So Marco Cheresi, without a moment's hesitation, just jumps out of the car and goes and grabs it. And in the process of grabbing it, and it didn't put up much of a fight, it was pretty feeble, and he put it in the back of the car, and he got a little scratch under his arm, and he got some weird oil on his skin. They go to one little tiny hospital. It was more like a clinic, and the doctor apparently came out and took one look and said, I don't know what that is, but you're not bringing it here. So then they go off to regional hospital, and they drop it off at regional hospital.
Is this where Dr. Italo Venturelli comes across the being?
Exactly. Yes. Yep. So we had, up until this point, we had testimony from a military officer who we found that he took a creature from Humanitas Hospital, because it went from the first little clinic, didn't get out of the car. Then it went to regional, got out of the car, was delivered, taken indoor. In fact, I was just at regional hospital like 2 weeks ago, and I went to the front desk, the main entry point, and I said, hey, this incident, and they got a big plaque out front. This is where an ET came. It's all right out in the open. Nobody's hiding this story. Sure. And I asked the people at the desks coming into the ER, hey, have you guys heard? Oh yeah, one of the people that was there that night still working here now. And they said, the creature. No, I'm not kidding you. I swear to you. And they said, and they got a big plaque outside. I can share you a picture of it, talking about the events. But they took the ET in the back entrance. They said they did not come in the front. They took it in the back.
Did the person you spoke to, aside from Dr. Italo, did they also see the alien being?
Good question. We only had 24 more hours before we were flying home. We got the details. We got the contact information of that individual that was there that night. Don't know. Didn't have a chance to talk to them. Don't know if they.
That's what I love about this, James. Is you've been coming and going from this city now for years, and each time you go back, you get more layers of factual information that corroborate what you originally uncovered.
You got to hear So now we have, for the first time ever, because we have this military police officer who we got to come forward, and he drove a creature from Humanitas to EZA military base, and then EZA Campinas, and that's when the Americans came in, right? So now, for the first time ever, we have firsthand eyewitness testimony from the lead neurosurgeon still at the hospital, who describes face-to-face contact with the live alien for 4 minutes. It's incredible.
So at this point, James, with your permission, we're going to roll the little sizzle grab you've given us from Dr. Italo Venturelli. Here's Dr. Italo.
Meu nome é Ítalo Venturelli, estudei em São Paulo, eu fiz neurologia, neurocirurgia, fiz mais de 5.000 cirurgias. Só queria deixar essa mensagem que eu realmente vi. No dia fui ver como se eu tivesse ido ver um paciente E não era um paciente, realmente era um alien, claramente um alien. O crânio era em forma de gota, os olhos em forma de gota. Eu fui ver um paciente, achando que era um humano. E eu vi ali um ser maravilhoso de um mundo que eu não conheço. Me pergunto se estava sofrendo, ele não estava sofrendo, se ele estava entendendo, ele estava entendendo. Muito calmo, muito tranquilo, olhou para mim como se entendesse tudo o que eu estava pensando. Eu acho bacana conversar isso, explicar para as pessoas que existem muito mais coisas do que a gente imagina. Para mim foi muito importante ver, porque eu vi a imensidão que tem esse universo, né? Não somos só nós aqui, nesse mundo tão maravilhoso, mas deve existir muitos outros, e aquele ser que estava ali é prova disso.
What I love, James, about Dr. Italo is he's very open about the fact that this being touched him. He seems quite emotional about the experience.
So, okay, I'll tell you how this came about, because it's extraordinary what happened. We knew that the live alien was at Regional Hospital. We have people that we're in touch with over more than a decade that work at both hospitals that we meet privately with every time we go to Varginha. It's always quiet, off the record. They come, and there's certain secrets they talk about during surgery and only during surgery. So we knew, and from other testimony, that creature was it. So the other neurosurgeon who was on duty that night was his sort of protege. It was Dr. Italo and Dr. Marcos Vinicius. Dr. Marco Vinicius did a little procedure on the creature. Apparently it had some damage, some swelling, something happened. Did a little procedure on the creature, and I don't want to go into too much detail because it's an ongoing thing. And then he had a heart attack and died in 2018. Okay, so now he's gone, and his partner, who's the lead neurosurgeon, Dr. Italo, himself had a heart attack just a few months ago, and he's in the ICU, staring at the ceiling, thinking that he was going to die, and he thought, "I can't believe I'm taking this to the grave. This is not right. If I survive this, I'm going public."
Ooh,
I know. It's big stuff. It's big
Ah.
stuff. And I also loved the section of the interview with the doctor, Venturelli, where it's later on, but he calls this being an elevated consciousness. Calm and
Really interesting.
kind. Telepathically told the doctor he was okay. This is what was wrong. A very calm, elevated consciousness. He said of course, the alien in the room, but he was also in control of the room.
Yeah, that says a lot. Look at this image of him,
I
of the
know.
doctor. He is so affected by this emotionally. You can tell he's still viscerally and emotionally feels this.
Sure.
And like you said, like he is finally coming forward because he had a brush with death, and he's not going to take this to the grave with him. So,
Smart.
I do trust James did his homework on this and vetted it and everything. So we'll see. We'll see. I know that he will expand on this in the documentary Moment of Contact. We are going to show the new trailer for it in just a little bit. But yeah, this is stunning stuff, if you ask me, about one of the most well-documented cases ever recorded. And man, I just can't imagine being in that room that day. Crazy.
That's
Crazy
right.
stuff.
He also has the Roger Lear tapes. Roger Lear went down in 2012 or 2013 and did a bunch of research, and he too got anxious about being the possessor of this information. And James Fox has those tapes.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe there'll be something about that in the redo.
Oh, there might. There might be. Yeah. Hint,
I'd love
hint,
to
guys.
know.
Interesting stuff. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up during this interview with Ross Coulthard and James Fox is you mentioned earlier, Eric Davis. Since we're on the topic of like UAP crashes and whatnot, Eric Davis apparently was another person who came into contact with a possible craft or something like that. And they talked about this. They talked about Eric Davis's connections to these topics, and James provided an interview clip with Eric Davis that he did as well. So I thought we would give that a quick watch too. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Pretty sure this is the one you were referring to. So let's give this a watch. James Fox, where is it? There it is.
There are people who are operating under TS-SCI, top secret compartmented clearances, who are forbidden from speaking about this. And this is something that when you went to Washington, you've also, in this Moment of Contact film, you've also gone to Washington, D.C. and covered the congressional hearings where multiple witnesses have given evidence of what they know, what they saw. One of them is Dr. Eric Davis. He's a friend of both of us. He's an astrophysicist. He's been heavily involved in investigating paranormal UAP phenomena for many decades. He worked with Robert Bigelow at the National Institute of Discovery Science. He was part of the BASS investigations, the federal government-funded investigations into the subject. This is what he told you in this exclusive interview.
Where's the proof? We have alien spaceships in our possession. We have bodies. Where and why can't I get the specifics to verify those claims?
If the President of the United States issued an executive order that absolves me of all of my TS-SCI NDAs, NDAs are non-disclosure agreements. Those are the agreements we have to sign for every compartment in our SCI clearances. So if the president waives or absolves my obligation to those NDAs, and I get subpoenaed by Congress, somebody on Capitol Hill, some committee, either in the Senate or the House or the both, to reveal everything I know that I learned from my investigations, both unclassified and classified, into the legacy UAP, crash retrieval, and hardware reverse engineering and NHI programs, I would do so. If I could be waived from that or absolved in some fashion by presidential order, and if Congress subpoenas me, yes, I would go and tell them everything I know.
Dr. Eric Davis makes it very clear there, James, that he knows stuff. He, as you know, investigated the claims that there was this legacy UAP, NHI, non-human intelligence craft retrieval program, and he became aware, he's testified before, that there has been this ongoing reverse engineering program. What he's saying, though, is very significant, because he's essentially saying, if the president, if Donald Trump was merely to say, overnight, I can waive those secrecy orders, I can waive those NDAs, he, Dr. Eric Davis, and presumably many other witnesses could come forward. So how significant is Eric Davis's comment?
Well, it's extremely significant. And, I asked them those specific questions because I feel the frustration among the community, among people that have seen, for instance, Dave Grush back in 2023 making these extraordinary claims and not really providing publicly the extraordinary evidence needed to verify those claims. So I'm constantly thinking as a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, how to address those issues. Okay, so you've got someone with all these clearances and you sign NDAs. How do we circumvent that? So I've been asking a lot of people like Eric Davis, would you be willing, provided under the right circumstances, we make a plea to President Trump, whoever the president is, the president of the United States, wave the magic wand, provide immunity, which they can do immediately. Would you testify under oath to a bipartisan group of lawmakers and give the details needed to verify the claims? And they're all saying yes. So let's do it. And if there's nothing to it, then hey, you got nothing to hide. You imagine it's like, okay, there's nothing to see here. Fair enough. Pass the act, pass the bill. The disclosure, UAP Disclosure Act, like pass it.
Pass it. I love that.
Pass it or just do the darn executive order. Let's just do an order and move it on and give one to Lacatski too, give one to Grush, Pass them out like Halloween candy.
It's like Oprah. You get a subpoena, and you get a subpoena, and you get a subpoena.
I'm going to volunteer my services to be the subpoena master.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm really excited for Moment of Contact.
I am too.
Let's watch the trailer really quick.
Okay.
Is that cool?
So much fun.
And then I think someone might be joining us in just a second too. But let's go ahead and play the trailer for Moment of Contact.
All right.
New revelations. You guys got to check it out when it comes out in December.
And a huge thanks to James for letting us play it.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, James Fox, wherever you are. Here we go.
Have you been exposed to undeniable confirmation of a non-human intelligence craft?
There is something out there, and we should know as the people what it is.
Do you believe that the federal government is knowingly concealing evidence about UAPs from the public?
100%.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
Non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
For the first time in history, the names of alleged companies and gatekeepers analyzing recovered alien technology are being exposed.
Are any of you willing to name specific individuals?
Dr. James Ryder at Lockheed, Glenn Gaffney, CIA.
For decades, we've heard allegations of the retrieval of objects of alien origin.
In 1933, some disc-shaped object crashed.
It was not anything from this earth.
A UFO crashed in Kingman.
Didn't drop out of the sky. It had to come in on an angle.
The feeling I had during the encounter was like no type of aircraft I've ever seen before.
I saw the evidence. It's a crash retrieval, there's a craft, and there's alien bodies.
But one of the most well-documented UFO crash retrieval cases involving live aliens took place in Varginha, Brazil.
It is a crashed vehicle.
2 seres extraterrestres foram capturados, depois, posteriormente, foram levados para o hospital.
Meu nome é Carlos de Souza.
Meu nome é Cátia Xavier.
Meu nome é Liliane Silva.
Meu nome é Valquíria Silva. Em 1996, eu vi uma criatura estranha.
Fui até o local. Quando o general de brigada falou para mim que era assunto de segurança nacional, ele morre por aí, acabou.
Deu para ver nitidamente. Era um charuto voando.
O negócio da tenda, eu nem quis tocar, porque eu tinha um cine aqui na bala. Levaram para Campinas e Campinas levaram para os Estados Unidos.
Now, for the first time in history,
Nunca vi caso assim.
we have the most compelling first-hand testimony.
Todo mundo surpreso. Assim, qualquer que ia sofrer uma punição muito severa.
Of communication with a live alien in captivity.
Aqui, ó. Foi aqui.
Os olhos eram como se fosse uma gota de água.
How much time did he spend with the alien in the room?
3, 4 meses.
Damn, that's how you cut a trailer, baby.
That is, isn't it? Yeah.
Crazy
I also
stuff.
love what happens. You're watching this neurosurgeon talk now. This is something that is possible in America if we would let down the government secrecy around it. Brazil's government is so much more open most of the time. It's not perfect. And of course, they did let us get in there at some point, both at Colares and I think at Varginha, and take stuff. And of course, it got black boxed. But you're watching a community and a group of people unafraid to speak truth to power on a sensitive subject.
Yeah. And, I unfortunately, I had to reschedule our interview with Tiago Ticelli, who, went to the most recent Brazilian UFO hearing that took place. So, you're right. You're right. I think we're just scratching the surface of UFOs when it comes to Brazil. And America always sees itself as the example for everyone else. I think Brazil is going to be, and Canada are the examples of what we should be doing.
And France. I'd throw France in there with them.
Japon, right? Did I get that
Japon.
right? Japon. Love it. Love it. Well, I talked to James Fox this morning, and I asked him if we could play the trailer, and he said, absolutely. But that's not it. He also wanted to send a message to our incredible live chat and to everyone watching. So, guys, from James Fox to your eyes and your ears, he wanted to send this message out and kind of just break down all of this for you guys and so you can get a better understanding of it. So here is an exclusive video message from the man himself, James Fox, to you guys here at Somewhere in the Live Stream. So let me get that pulled up.
Enjoy it.
And enjoy.
Hello, everybody. It's James Fox here. Wanted to make a couple quick comments on tonight's event that Ryan Sprague's putting on. One, I guess I'll address the Eric Davis issue first. And I did that. I asked him that question because, I feel the frustration from people within the community and people within, mainstream perspectives as to making these extraordinary claims and not providing, at least publicly, the details needed to verify those claims. So I wanted to basically create an environment that would circumvent that. And one could imagine having 6, 8, 10 more of people like Eric Davis all saying the same thing. And then it would be on the executive branch, whoever had the ability to relieve these folks of their NDAs, and they can testify under oath to a bipartisan group of lawmakers. And it's like, hey, if you don't believe it's true, fair enough. But at least let's call their bluff. Why not? The stakes are too high. And the other thing, addressing neurosurgeon Dr. Ichilo, I've been hearing criticism out there about him because they're like, well, last year he went on the record. Yeah, that was with us. Because we talked to other doctors who saw the video and which led us back to him. And eventually enough people had come forward, not exactly publicly, but within that community. And he agreed to meet with Marco and myself over a video call. And he confessed that he'd seen the video. And when we arrived a year later, interviewing the 2 forensic pathologists that did the autopsy on the deceased military officer, Marco Cheriz, we had, which was extraordinary, by the way, they talk about for the first time, like participating in the film, seeing bacteria do things they've never seen any bacteria on Earth do. It's extraordinary. I'll leave it to the forensic pathologists, and we've got a full autopsy report now that's with comments from the forensic pathologist who looked at the tissue samples closely, Dr. Giannini. That's coming out. But Dr. Ichilo has everything to lose and nothing to gain. He runs the Department of Neurosurgery at Regional Hospital today. And he's putting it all on the line. I think, his friend that was participated in the event as well, Marcos Vinicius, died of a heart attack in 2018. And then he had a heart attack. And he was thinking to himself, like, as he's staring at the ceiling in the ICU, I'm going to take this story to the grave. And he just decided to go all out. And he did it on the fly. When we met with him at Regional Hospital, he snuck us in the back gate. And he just decided, screw it. I'm going to reveal everything. And he's willing to take a public lie detector test tomorrow. I asked him that. And there's more to come on that. And other doctors.
All right. There you
I'm
go,
with Pat
guys.
Gallagher. This steps ahead of Age of Disclosure for me.
Oh,
and it's
God,
the testing. I cannot wait to hear the details of the testing on the bacteria.
Yeah, same. Now, I will be watching Age of Disclosure on it.
Me too. Me
You
too.
have to. If
Because
you're
it has to be done.
But it is so outdated at this point, and that's very unfortunate. I know a lot of hard work went into that, and probably a lot to get the interviews that they did. But
And I do think it has a place, Ryan. It might be outdated for us, but remember, we're at the top of a little mountain of knowledge on this. Not a mountain, but you know what I mean. We're a certain group that spends a lot of time in this topic, and the rest of the planet may not. And so from that perspective, to watch through Age of Disclosure all of the government people come out, I think I'll have a powerful place.
Yeah, you're right. Like, these are all pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
And the bigger picture is finding truth to the UFO phenomenon.
Right.
Whether it's coming from Brazil, whether it's coming from America, Canada, whether it's coming because of one UFO crash in Brazil, or if it's coming from all of these legacy programs, apparently from these people who worked on them. Like, it all has a place. So, look, we're living in the golden era of UFO documentaries. So let's be the 80s were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The 80s were pretty damn good when it comes to UFO documentaries. But like, things are changing and things are moving rapidly. They seem slow, but guys, like, we pushed fast forward in 2017 on the old VCR called UFO Disclosure. So,
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. And it can be frustrating,
Absolutely.
but think back less than 10 years ago when silence was what we had. The occasional FOIA document, somebody would get hold of a little tiny something. And now where we are today, do not lose sight of the progress, despite the fact that it doesn't go as fast to true truth as we would like.
Absolutely. Don't lose sight. That is the perfect way to put it. I love that. I love that. Thank you, James Fox. Thank you so much for that message, man. If you're watching, we truly do appreciate it. And we cannot wait to see Moment of Contact. No, I don't think there's a specific date yet, but it will be in December. It'll be re-released on streaming platforms. So keep a lookout for that. I'll keep everyone posted as well. James will be coming back on the show to talk all about it. And I'm sure we'll have a lot more to break down after seeing the actual documentary. That's for sure.
So exciting.
But you know what's coming up this week on Somewhere in the Skies in just a couple hours?
Oh,
we have, guys.
You get to listen to my mess again if you were in the live stream.
You were on our 4-hour live stream last week, which was incredible. I do not.
It took me the week to recuperate. It probably did everyone else too.
We did review. You reviewed the entire Soul Symposium that you were at in Italy. This will be the podcast episode this week.
Cool.
So you guys will be able to go back and listen to the entire thing. So basically, we took that whole conversation, made it into the podcast. It's going to be awesome.
So nice. I'm so flattered.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Oh my God, my absolute pleasure. I learned so much about it. And look, like, it's hard for people to get to these things, especially in another
and people don't have 72 hours to dedicate to it either. They have to go to work. They have to do life,
Yeah, exactly. In just a couple hours, guys, on the main feed of the podcast, you will be hearing from Suzanne again, and you will be hearing all about her experience at the Soul Symposium. Incredible. We go through every single speaker and what they talked about and what you took away from it. It was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So be sure that you are subscribed to the podcast and you'll be the first to get it. It's out on Patreon already. If you guys want early access, you can listen to it right now on Patreon. Or if you're an Apple Premium subscriber, it's up there as well. I think that's it, Suzanne. I'm going to tease the following week's episode with Joshua Shelton. And start to close things out. And let me see what happens when I go to the Q&A.
See if you can figure out. We can't figure out where your suggestions for the top 5, top 10 thing are actually going.
Let's see. I'm going to officially end it now. This will remove all questions. Well, where are they?
But where are the answers?
I don't want to get rid of it. I'm not going to cancel it because I don't want to know what happens. Yeah. So basically, guys, if you answered somehow, some way in there, top 5 or top 10 list, what should we do for a video? I don't care how many super chats we got. We're doing it. We're making the video. It's happening. So thank you. Thank you to all of you who donated tonight. Put right now in capital letters with whatever list in front of it, what you would like a top 5 or top 10 video for us to do on the YouTube channel. It could be anything, literally anything. So there you go. I'll let you go back into the chat.
All right.
Thank you as always for your incredible insights on all of this. And we'll catch up very soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Check that out in just a couple hours. And then next week, we are talking to Joshua Shelton. He is a former Nellis Area 2 security patrolman who had some extremely anomalous events happen at one of the most highly sensitive nuclear installations in the world. Nellis is where Area 51 is. Crazy stuff. Now, he first came forward on Reality Check with Ross Coulthard, and they talked all about a lot of his experiences. But in our interview, he does expand on those, and he shares never before heard incidents that happened at Nellis Area 2. And it is clear, very clear, that these events affected him in many ways. And one of those events was a UAP crash that he witnessed while working at Area 2 out there. So I'm going to go ahead and play a teaser clip for you guys. Here is Joshua Shelton talking about the UAP crash that happened. This episode is available right now on Patreon, patreon.com/summerskies. You can listen to it early. It'll be available on Apple Premium very soon. But here's just a little bit of that interview with Joshua Shelton talking about a UAP crash that he witnessed with his very own eyes. Let me find that for you here. Here we go.
So this would have been about halfway through the time that I was in the area. I was on the fire team. I was on what's called the alert fire team, which basically we hung out inside of this building. And then if there was an incident, we would respond. So there was an alert fire team and then a mobile fire team. And we were outside of the garage, kind of just smoking and joking with another patrol. And the guy in front of me, as we're talking, he sees something over my shoulder and like clearly alarmed. And I turn and look over my shoulder, and there's this, I hate to say it, but like disc-shaped object flying straight over our heads. And it's like wrapped in like, I don't want to say it was flames, but a reddish roiling light all along the front and like half of the craft. And as it got near, what was really strange about it was that sound seemed to deaden. So like it didn't completely kill sound, but it was almost like you're underwater. Like the sound was very deadened. And the object itself, I don't recall a specific like sound. I think there was like a little bit of a throbbing kind of noise. But it came over our heads, and you could tell it was losing altitude. It's really hard to like estimate a good size because, you know, at night and you don't have a reference point when you're looking into the sky. So I always hesitate on that, but I got the feeling it was maybe 50 feet across, like that. But the object, you could tell it was losing altitude. I actually was concerned initially it was going to crash inside of the area, but it came down, and you could see that the back half wasn't wrapped in that roiling reddish light. It went down behind those bluffs where we would always go to get oversight of everything. And when it dipped down behind them, there was this huge flash of light, like a massive flash of light. Like the way that I hear people describe nuke explosions way back in the day, like you talk to the old timers, just this giant flash of light that lit up the sky. And all of us braced ourselves because we expected just this massive shockwave.
Yeah.
But nothing happened. There was no sound. It was just a flash of light. There was no sound, no nothing. And then like the flash was bright enough that where we were at, which we would have been when it went down behind the bluffs, we would have been maybe 3/4 of a mile away.
Oh, wow.
And where we were at, it was briefly bright enough that it was kind of like daytime. Like that's how, so when I say a bright flashlight, I mean it. But nothing, no sound, no nothing, no flames. We expected, you know, fire, explosion and stuff, but nothing. we called it in, and exterior patrols went expecting to find, a downed aircraft or something. They couldn't find anything. They couldn't find no wreckage, no smoke, no flames. Now, granted, we were limited on the exterior patrols, how far away you could go, because you had to stay close. But it's just not realistic to think that a physical object went down there and didn't leave debris or something. Even if it didn't explode in flames, there would be gouts of dirt, in the air. Right. Like, it's not realistic that something crashed there and they missed it. Yeah, that was...
No, what do you think happened after that? Do you think there was a retrieval team that went out, or did you hear any sirens or any chatter amongst any, what was the aftermath, at least from your vantage point on all this?
Nothing.
Nothing. Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
I was muted. There you go, guys. Our interview with Joshua Shelton, now available on Patreon, early access, patreon.com/somewhereskies. That'll be with you guys on the main feed for free next Monday. But just a couple hours, Suzanne, full breakdown of Soul Symposium coming at you. Awesome. Oh, I got to mention this too. This is crazy. So when I was on my way to karaoke tonight, I went through this place called St. James Quarter here in Edinburgh. And I am going down the escalator, going to grab some, some snacks and whatnot before karaoke. And behind me, I get a tap on the shoulder. I turn around and this nice gentleman said, "I'll be watching you tonight." Which sounds creepy, out of context, but it was amazing. So I want to give a shout out to that person. I will not name them because I don't want to, just in case they don't want their name out there. But one of our viewers happened to see me tonight in Edinburgh and stopped me and said they'd be watching. So if you are watching right now with you and your friends, I just want to say a big hello to this person and thank you. You made me look like the coolest guy ever in front of my girlfriend. So perfect anniversary gift, if you ask me. So again, thank you. You truly made my night with that. That was awesome. And if you're watching, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. So that was crazy. I totally forgot to mention that to you guys earlier. Amanda says, "Ryan, I love the trailer for the new Planet Weird documentary you're in. I'm so excited to see it. Planet Weird is a great crew. I've always been so fascinated by the Hellier documentaries." Yes. Voice is going. So we're going to be wrapping it up. But yes, if you guys would like, 2019, Euphomet with Jim Perry came to New York City with filmmaker Carl Pfeiffer, and they did a mini documentary on me. I was so unbelievably honored. Got to spend 2 days with those guys, bring them to all my favorite little restaurants and places in Astoria, Queens, where I used to live. And I got to talk all about my life inside the UFO world and inside the theater world, and how I've kind of blended those together and what they have to do with one another and stuff. It was so cool. So cool. So yeah, you can check out that mini documentary that Amanda is referring to right here on the Ryan Sprague Somewhere in the Skies YouTube channel. It's just called Somewhere. Amazing. I was so honored by that. And they gave me permission to put it up on the YouTube channel. So you can check it out there. It's on our Instagram as well. So thank you. Truly do appreciate that. Last but not least, before we go, guys, I would love for you to once again consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple and Spotify. If you're over on Apple, leave a rating, and in your review somewhere, put the code words that Suzanne perfectly put up here for you. Trust me, Brokatsky. Those are your code words for this week. If you put "Trust me, Brokatsky" in your Apple review or in the comment section of this episode on Spotify, we will shout you out in the next live stream. If you put it in the comments below this video on YouTube, we will shout you out as well. So thank you once again, guys, for joining us tonight for another jam-packed episode. Thank you to Suzanne, as always. Thank you to all of you for coming in here with us tonight. I saw we have some new people as well, so I want to say hello to them. Oh, I'm missing it. There we go, Paul. Hello, Paul. New subscriber. Just wanted to say hello. Love the live stream. Awesome, buddy. Thank you so much, Paul. We're so happy to have you here in the Somewhere in the Skies family. So thanks, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you the next time around for sure. And thank you again to that person who made me feel so cool in front of my girlfriend today. Guys, we've talked enough. Go. Be on your merry way before the work week starts. I'm going to be leaving for Nova Scotia this week. I have a job in Nova Scotia. Not my ghost hunting show, surprisingly, but a different TV show. I can't talk about it really just yet. But yeah, I'm going to be heading out there. And then from there, I'm going to be doing a world tour for the holidays. I'm doing, what do I got? Nova Scotia, New York, California, Portland, Hawaii, Japan, New York City, and then back home. So I have no freaking idea what's going to happen with the live streams, but I promise you, I will do everything in my power to make it as consistent as possible and get the latest UFO news out to you guys. But it is going to be a crazy holiday month coming up for you boy. So pray for me. Please pray for me. But I'm so excited to see family and friends and everything in between. And have a job. Thank you, Paul Kimball. All right. I love you guys. Let's get out of here. As always, I'm going to leave you with our mantra, and that is keep your feet on the ground, but never stop searching somewhere in the skies. Keep looking up, and don't listen to my karaoke.
There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide at all.